All right, welcome everyone. Welcome, Leica. So the purpose of today's video is I'm going to be training Leica on some of our internal processes when it comes to SEO and just how to have good results on Google search. But considering a lot of people struggle with the same thing and just kind of understanding the basics of Google, I figured it might be a good idea to have a recording of this and kind of just share my thoughts on how things work, and hopefully you can wrap your head around it as I go on and train Leica. If that makes sense, let's get started. Leica, does that sound good?
Yeah, ready.
All right. So search engine optimization. In a nutshell, it's you have a business, you have an article, you have some content, and you're trying to get more visibility. So there's multiple ways to do this. You have social media, you have advertising, but people tend to gravitate towards Google because, well, everyone uses Google, and lots of people consider it like a free source of advertising. If you Google, something like Blogger outreach services, that means you're looking for that kind of service. It means you're a searcher who has a high search intent and is looking for a service provider that does this sort of thing. So if you do that in Google, what you see are several ads that first pop up. So the first four results for most competitive searches are usually ad based, and then you can scroll down and you'll see the actual search results. So for here, Index C is ranked number one, Fat Joe is ranked number two. One of my listings, Linkio, is ranked number three. So, you know, of all the results online that are somewhat relevant to the search blogger outreach services, Google's saying that there's 2.3 million results for this for the search term. Okay, well, how do you become the number one spot, the number two? How do you get on page one? That is the general practice of search engine optimization. So we're just going to go through some high level key breakdowns, and we're probably going to introduce some terms that you haven't heard of yet, or you vaguely heard of but don't yet understand. So one of those terms is content marketing. Content marketing is you have this website, and one of the ways to bring visibility to your website is to publish informative blog content, get the content in front of the right people. And what Google starts to do as you publish more and more of the same content is it starts to consider your website an authority in that space for this topic. Like, I just Googled content marketing. Well, the first result was Content Marketing Institute. And the reason why it ranks so highly is because they are pretty much the go-to source for learning about content training, webinars, videos, articles, people, services. They've got it all. But they just started like a website, like everyone else, right? Uh, what they had was a focus, and then a consistent desire to keep publishing content around that focus. And just a simple activity of publishing content around your topic is something that can grant you what's called topical authority. Topical authority, it's basically a summation of the word we just described. Publishing lots of content about a related topic, and then Google starts to associate your website with that topic. So what ends up happening is it doesn't happen right away. Like, if you publish 100 articles tomorrow about a topic, doesn't mean you get topical authority automatically. It's kind of more like an art. It's more of something you do over time to eventually establish it. But when you do, most of your content starts ranking higher automatically. So of the 20 million search results here, the websites that have a higher topical authority for whatever search term tend to be more trusted in Google. Um, but this is kind of a well-known concept, I guess, and it's easy to manipulate Google in this way, especially nowadays with like the proliferation of artificial intelligence, AI writing tools. scrapers, programmatic SEO. You can like spin up hundreds of pages and try to game Google's system. And they have lots of algorithms that kind of like, check for quality. But one of the main differentiators that websites can use to rank higher than others is the concept of link building. Um, Let me introduce the idea of link building. So a link is basically like one website linking to another website. We call that term a backlink. So here's this example. Here's this article from Backlinko on link building. You're going to see, throughout the article, you're going to see these underlined links. These are called anchor text, and depending on where this link points to, if it points to another page within Backlinko, we call that an internal link. However, if it's linking to a page outside of Backlinko, we're going to call that an external link. So here, Backlinko linked to Wikipedia, and the page it's linking to is a page about PageRank. And the text that Backlinko used for the link says PageRank algorithm. So, ultimately, this simple thing here, like the basis of just this link plus what text was used to create the link, is actually what started Google on its journey to become this multi-billion-dollar company in the first place. Is because there were tons of search engines, the Alta Vistas, the Yahoos. Lots of it was directory based, and Google found out that the best way to like assign meaning and relevance to different pages across the web was to see how other people were linking to those pages. And that meant, what is the page about that they're linking from? What is the text using that they're using for the link? And then where is that link pointing? So now Google's gotten the signal that it says, if you're talking about PageRank algorithm, well, this page here is pretty relevant. Now, if enough websites link to this same PageRank page talking about the similar concept of PageRank, well, then Google is going to associate the two. It's going to say, okay, whenever someone searches for PageRank algorithm, chances are a Wikipedia page is going to pop up. And that's exactly what's happened here. So now you Google PageRank algorithm, Wikipedia showed up here. And I mean, Wikipedia is an authority site on its own. It probably doesn't need all the help of all that link building anyway, because it has so much topical authority for being like a facts website. But this kind of thing helps. And this simple concept is turned into a gigantic industry for link building. I myself have been in the link building space for 10 years, and I've built companies, agencies, software tools focused on link building because I find it to be a very interesting part of SEO. And these two concepts I introduced so far, the content marketing, and content marketing might sound like kind of like a big thing, but content marketing is really just, I mean, for the purpose of what we're trying to do, like early level SEO, it's really just blogging. So content marketing is just blogging about the things you want your website to be relevant about. And then link building is about figuring out ways to generate more other websites to link back to your content in a relevant way. Um, Let me stop there. Leica, does that make sense?
Yeah, it's super clear. I do have a question. I'm quite interested in the topic. And what you were saying about link building and how it links back to other websites. How does social media play into that? I mean, I understand that Google is its own entity, but once you start linking into other social media websites, how does it affect the whole thing?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, that's a really good segue into the next thing I could actually cover, which is, we introduced topical authority, we introduced link building, but then the problem is that these things are like really easy to manipulate. Like I can go out there tomorrow and I could build 1,000 links using some kind of software, using Fiverr, using Upwork, and do it for like pennies on the dollar. So this thing actually used to work. Like 10, 20 years ago, um, you could rank for terms that could make you millions of dollars just using what we call black hat SEO tactics. And about a decade ago, Google released an algorithm update called Penguin that really changed the face of SEO. And I say that because if you it killed like anchor text manipulation. So you could like spin up 100 pages that link to your website with the keyword PageRank algorithm, and you could rank number one for PageRank algorithm. If you were too aggressive after that Penguin update, you would get penalized and lose all your traffic and go away. And what Google found is the who it should focus on in terms of who to give higher rankings to were people who were like brands. So they had to develop an algorithm to determine like which website is a high quality brand, which website isn't a high quality brand. And going back to your question, one of the ways that they figured out how to do that is by using social signals. So social signals, you can basically say they're like mentions of your website across Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, all the different websites, whether it's through links or it's also just by people mentioning your brand name or talking about people associated with your brand name. We can consider that term brand authority. So, ultimately, like the direct impact of a link from Facebook, Twitter, like LinkedIn, it doesn't really pass direct value because well, anyone can build those links. So, if anyone can do it, Google doesn't consider it valuable. And B, they're considered no follow links. So at some point Google decided that it's got to give webmasters a way to determine whether a link should pass the kind of value that backlink go past to Wikipedia, or they could tell the search engines to say, hey, like I know this is a link to another site, but we don't want you to give it the same kind of credit that would be given as if we were like vouching for that. Like a link is kind of like a vote, but there's many different reasons why you can create a link. Some of it's user generated. So if you don't really want it to count like a vote, then you could there's a way to tag a link with a no follow tag. So Google sees that link, it follows that link, but it knows not to pass value through that link. And mostly all social media profiles are no follow links. So a lot of people wonder like, well, what's the point of building a social media link if they're all no follow? It's because it helps you establish your brand authority. And if you're a blogger and you're writing these 10 amazing articles, and there's another blogger who's written these 10 amazing articles, and you guys are writing about the same thing. If you have, a little bit more social media prowess, a little bit more branding prowess, and you're able to get your name out there more across those channels, your content's probably going to rank higher because Google's going to pick up on those brand signals, and it's going to say, okay, this is a brand that cares about its its authority. It cares about like connecting with community, and therefore its content is probably going to be of higher value. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and when it comes to simple terms, you're just starting out a website, you're like hearing about all these terms. It just means like claim all your social media profiles. If you start a new website, if you have a new brand name, like make sure you're claiming the Twitter pages and the Facebook pages, and you're filling out some of the information and you're linking it back to your website. And most Facebook pages are like kind of barren. You have a blog post, you like post on it, you if you and like it's not going to get any likes or anything like that just because you have so many social profiles, there's so many different things to manage all at once. But the fact that you have it is half the battle when it comes to just building out that brand profile for SEO purposes.
That's
All right,
clear.
so is I think a lot of people find this kind of knowledge pretty easy to obtain. It's like if they look at if they Google what is SEO, what is link building, and they come across these articles and videos, they'll get a pretty good sense of okay, in order to do good SEO, I need to have a website, and then they'll fall into some basics about what to put on the website. Like here's the blog post, right? They're trying to rank for the term "What is SEO?" Well, they have "What is SEO?" in the title, so Google knows that this article is about what is SEO. They have "What is SEO?" or they have topics like how search engines work, how SEO works, how to optimize for Google, and then goes on and on. And they mention SEO 28 times within the article. So as they're writing about the topic, you'll find that there's certain ways to optimize for a keyword. Like here's search engine in the header tag, and you'll see SEO mentioned throughout. And it's become a whole industry about how do you optimize each blog post on your page for a specific keyword so you can rank higher. Well, there's tools out there that can help you do that. Like Surfer SEO is a cool tool that I use. Um, what it does that's helpful is that you can pop in a keyword from a keyword that you want to target into Surfer, and it basically analyzes the top 20 results for that keyword, and it tells you, okay, Google wants to see this number of keywords, this number of words, like this number of related terms within the content. And as you write a quality article, it can grade you on how you're doing. So there's these interesting tools out there that help you write content in a search engine optimized way. There are tons of tutorials about how to build links. There are services that help you build links. Uh, we have a service like there that helps you build links. Um, but then the hard part I think that people still struggle with is just like what kind of mindset you need to actually have success with SEO. Because if it was as simple as just publishing blog content and building links, then usually everyone could do it. And or like lots of people can do it. Yet I see all the time people blogging and doing links, but still not having success. So one of the things I've learned over the past 10 years is that Google's really looking to rank certain types of businesses that do SEO in a certain way. So to wrap up this video, I'm just going to give you some quick primers on like how to think about starting your SEO campaign and like how to structure your website as you work towards it. There's different types of websites you can have. You can have a local business. You can have a services business. You can have a software company. You can just have like a niche site blog where you just blog about high volume keywords and you link out to Amazon sites or do ads. Or you sell products. You have an e-commerce site. In general, though, there's a structure to every website, and that structure is you have your main page. We call that the home page. And then you have what I'll call commercial pages, which are pages that sell something. Like for example, the on my Only Outreach website, our link building service page is a sales page because it's just trying to attract leads. And then you have informational pages like blog post pages. So regardless of what type of website you're looking at, you're basically going to have these three pages. You're going to have your homepage, you're going to have service pages. For e-commerce, that means your product pages. For SaaS companies, that means like your features pages. And then you're going to have your blog post pages. And what I've found often is what used to work really well is you wouldn't really need to worry about your homepage. It was just here. You wouldn't really need to worry about your blog post pages, especially if you're a business and you're trying to sell something. But what you could do is just build a bunch of links to like your service, your sales pages. For me, for this example, if I was trying to rank for the term link building service, I would just build like 20 links to this page. Or if I was like, like I don't know, EFAC SaaS company or proposal, let's say proposal SaaS. If I was if I was like Proposify and I had these sales pages here, any of these pages, I'd be building links to them to rank them higher. But now what you see is oftentimes what's ranking on page one, like for these kind of commercial keywords, proposal software, is they don't actually have a ton of links going directly to the page anymore. So the way it used to work is that you have this page, you build a ton of links to this page. Whoever has the most links and most high quality links to that page will have higher rankings. However, now oftentimes you'll see pages on high authority sites, but these pages that are ranking have no links pointing directly to the service page. The thing that's changed here is kind of going back to your earlier question is Google is trying to get a bit away from links, like relying too heavily on links, and it's trying to find ways to rank more relevant content who's not actively trying to manipulate search. And usually that means it's trying to rank big brands. It's trying to rank top of the authoritative sites. It's trying to rank really good content. And there's still a way to do all that, but you have to have a different approach. So one of the approaches is number one, anything that's ranking on the first page for a competitive term has a strong brand. The best way to develop a strong brand for your own sake is to build lots of homepage links. So you want to get lots of different websites talking about your brand and linking to your homepage. Some of the ways to do that is, you could do podcast interviews. They usually link to your homepage. If you get like media awareness on websites like Harrow, they link to your homepage. If you connect with bloggers who are blogging like listicles about companies in your industry, you can get a homepage. But the more of those you get, it establishes you as a brand, which makes the rest of your content easier to rank. Number two, you're going to find that if you wanted to rank for a term like proposal management software, you're going to need to have lots of articles that talk about creating proposal templates, like this kind of thing. You could easily have 20, 30, 50 articles, and there's lots of tools out there like Ahrefs, Surfer SEO, free Chrome extensions that give you keyword ideas to write about. You're going to have lots of homepage links. You're going to have lots of articles talking about the type of commercial keyword you want to rank for. And you're going to do lots of internal linking. So like better proposals. Here's a blog post. And within this blog post, I'm not going to look, but I'm sure they're linking to some of their commercial pages within that blog post. And the more kind of signals like that you have internally is what Google's going to be looking for. Now, what most people do instead of this is they just put up a site and they try to build links directly to like the commercial page, but they're not thinking about the bigger picture. And what you'll find in Google is Google's prioritizing the websites that are thinking about the bigger picture. And there's many ways to do that, and we're gonna in our future videos, as this is SEO 101, we're gonna start breaking down some more of that, of those content strategies, of those interlinking strategies, of how to build links in a way that Google actually likes to rank your website. And there's several topics around that we can cover. Does that make sense, Leica?
Yeah, very clear. Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I think this is a good primer for SEO 101. In my upcoming videos, I want to kind of dive in deeper about a few things. I think it's important to really drill down on brand authority and how to actually create that in a sustainable, repeatable way. One of the things I'm doing right now is it's early November in 2022, and I'm launching a new agency here, Only Outreach. And this agency is only about a month and a half old. And you can see right now we've just been building links. So if you kind of like zoom out to the all, you see the website just started. And what we've been doing here is building links, publishing content. You can see some of the keywords are starting to show up in Google. But the thing to keep in mind is when you're starting up an SEO campaign, like you need to buckle in for 6 months to a year, like especially in competitive areas. You're going to have to invest a lot of time, money, content writing into developing a brand that Google wants to recognize as a powerful SEO domain. So I think as we do those tutorials, we'll kind of keep track of how Only Outreach is progressing month over month. and we'll show you the strategies that we're using to rank the site. Most of them are strategies that we're using to help rank our clients as well. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how to create high quality content. What are some tools to help semi automate these operations? And then we'll talk about link building. I just mentioned kind of the basics of what a link is, but it's all these questions around how do you build a quality link? How do you find link building opportunities? If you're emailing websites, how do you approach them? How do you find the right person to contact? How do you structure an email? How do you get them to reply? How do you get them to say yes? And then if you're having success, you're going to be having to publish lots of content. So what are some processes for actually establishing a good content production flow? So we'll be going over some tools that can help you do that. Um, and yeah, that's about it. All right.